Hi, my name is Vivian Oliver-Hernandez, and in this tip of the week, I'm going to focus on the top 5 reasons that you should be using Google Sheets tracking in your classroom. So the first reason is in Google Sheets, you have the ability to create a list, like a drop-down list, which is called data validation. I will show you how to do that in this video. And what you can do is actually assign tasks, individuals to that task, etc., whatever you can think of creatively with that list option. Another thing that you can go ahead and do is for your students, when you use Google Sheets in your classroom, you can help them build their organizational skills and their communication skills in those collaborative student projects. So Google Sheets, there will be an example that I'll share with you, a template that highlights how this is done. Of course, you will want to do it for your own content area, but this is just a wonderful idea to go ahead and help with that. Moving on to 4. The fourth reason is also creating maybe a student portfolio or a student goal tracking sheet. We want to have our students become empowered and start tracking their own data and their own goal setting. So doing that when they're with us is important, and having Google Sheets be that tool is also a wonderful opportunity. And then the 5th reason, and I'll show you an example of this as well, is building out those research skills. So we do a lot of research here at Carl Munchie Senior High School. We do it for capstone as well. So if your student wants to keep a digital tracker, I would recommend Google Sheets or any Google product, but mostly Google Sheets. And I'll share a template of why I recommend this because it does help. And if they ever need it in the future, it's archiving their research. So because you can't hyperlink, and I'll make sure to show you how to hyperlink as well. So let's go ahead and start. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to create a drop-down list, such as the one in this example. So I listed out my names. The way I did this is you select the cell that you want to start in. Then you'll go to Data. Then you'll click on Data Validation. And then from here, you can go ahead and pick the cell range if you want to change where it would actually be in the range. You can always change that later as well, though. You can do the criteria. So if you want a list from range or list of items, if you like the example I just showed you, you can put list of items. It will ask you to actually list out those items. And then you have to put a comma between each item on that list. You can keep going, but once you have everything listed, you can uncheck or check the show drop down list and cell. I leave it checked so it can have that effect from the example that I just showed. You can do, I would keep this as a show warning for the invalid data, and I'll show you why. And then if you want this on or off, it's completely up to you. So this is how it appears before. You can always modify this here as well. So then I'm going to go ahead. So if you want it to say something, not just be blank, that's where you'll turn this on and you'll list off the instructions. Once you're done, you'll click Save. And then you can go ahead and see that your drop down is there. Now, if you want to copy and paste it, all you need to do is just either copy and paste the traditional way, or you can go ahead and use your drag, drop down, and then voila. You want to make sure when you do that it is blank, you have nothing selected when you copy, because if you do it when something is selected, it will give you these red data invalid things, and it's telling you it's not working because you had something selected. So that happens, and that's why you want to have it be blank when you do that copying, so you don't get that invalid warning. Okay, so to fix that, you would have to delete it. You could do it one by one, or you can go ahead and just delete all of them, but your drop down will still be there. So that is how you create those drop downs with data validation. So the next thing I want to show you is an example of how you can use data validation for assigning those tasks and progress. So as you see, this template is an example. I can always help you create this for your classroom, or you can go ahead and help your students learn if you actually want them to learn how to create it during a classroom time. This is a free lesson through the Google Applied Digital Skills. I will hyperlink the lesson so that way you can go ahead and give this to your students. because it does walk them through how to create their own Google Sheets for their project. However, if you want to create the template yourself and just give the template to your students, that works as well. As you can see, this is amazing because it does list off the task that needs to be done for that student project, the deadline that has been set by the students of when things are done or by the teacher, the status, and this is where you can create that list of status, complete, incomplete, in progress, etc. And that's a great way of using that data validation list. You can also do the task owner with names and then leave a column for notes. Very simple, but very, very effective. I will hyperlink this resource down in the description, or email me and I will email it to you. And then another wonderful resource of ideas is this link, where it goes more into detail of how you can use Google Sheets to build out digital portfolios for your students. Also, how you can use it for digital rubrics and rubric portfolios. And then using it for that class resource sheet as well. Hyperlinking is effective in Google Sheets as well, so I'll show you how to do that in one moment. And then this is where the research organization and learning how to archive that into a Google Sheet becomes effective as well. So I will link this all in the description below. So let's say I wanted to hyperlink a website or anything. All I need to do is go to that site, copy it, go into the cell that I want it to go in the Google Sheet, paste it. And then if it's too long like it is here, my best tip is to select the whole column. And you could do that by clicking on the letter. Then going up to the top right middle-ish and selecting text wrapping and making it do the whole wrap. So that way it fills up this cell. If I change the size of the cell, it'll just remain in that cell without becoming too long. Now, sometimes it happens where you're like doing work and it turns out that this, for some reason, does not have a hyperlink, right? And it ends up being, make sure y'all real quick, it ends up looking like, let me take this one. Oops. It ends up looking like this, right? It's just text and you want it to actually be a hyperlink. For some reason, when you pasted it, the hyperlink didn't stay. So how do you hyperlink it? There's two ways you can do it. You can either go to the top right-ish and insert the link. It will ask you, okay, what do you want to link? If you just copy that, click here, paste it here and apply it, it fixes it. Or you can hit Control K. It'll pop up this, Control K, paste, and apply. So you can hyperlink. If it didn't do it automatically, you can do it manually as well. And then the last thing, let's say you created a tracker on Google Sheets template for your students. They're not creating it on their own. Instead, you're giving them the starting point or a template to work off of. What you need to do is share it with them. So you can do this in any way that you would like. I just want to remind you how to do it as a template link type with the Google Sheet. So first, you're going to have to make sure your share settings are set up. This is reminding me to name my file because it can't save until it's named. Then I'm going to go ahead and make it Spring ISD. Anybody can view. If I need to go to the widget, I'm going to make sure that they have the option to download, print, and copy. And then I'm going to go ahead and click done. I copy that link and then I paste it. That person will see what I see, right? But let's say I don't want that to happen. What I need to do is go to the very end of that URL after backslash, and at the very end of that URL after the backslash before the edit, I'm going to delete everything after that. So starting with edit, I'm going to delete all of that. Then I'm going to type template backslash preview. Then I'm going to copy this and send that to other people, because when they hit enter, instead of seeing what I see as the editor, instead they'll see a nice, pretty preview of the template, and then in the right corner they can actually use that template. So that was a hack I love to remind teachers of, that you can do if you want your students to generate and you're not using Schoology, or any person you're not using Schoology and you need there to be some sort of template link. That was the hack. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I am your digital learning coach literacy, and I would be more than happy to do a one-on-one during your conference, or send you some more tips and tricks about how to effectively use these Google Sheets inside of your classroom environment. I hope you have a wonderful week, weekend, day, wherever, whenever you're watching this, and don't be a stranger. Reach out for help. Thanks. Bye.